call roll.
Councilmember Avalon,
Present.
Councilmember Ford,
Here.
Councilmember Lawson,
Here.
Councilmember Hardy,
Present.
Councilmember
Please
Fisher,
stand, please. We're going in.
Councilmember Rice. Here. Mayor Perez.
Present. First thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Tonight we have 3 items under the consent agenda. The first one is consideration of city council minutes of April 25th, 2017. We have an application of renewal of travel liquor license for Cross Mud. And we have an application from the hotel and restaurant for the remodeling country's kitchen. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember David Avalon, second by Councilmember Janice Rice, to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there any discussion? Council, please cast a vote.
All votes are cast.
Wish to change vote, please do so now. Please show the vote.
6 yes vote. Motion passes. I'm sorry, 7 yes.
Call the roll. Glad I'm not the only one that has to go. Next thing on the agenda is the communication of personal appearance of non-scheduled citizens for the council. If anyone is in the audience who is not on the agenda would like to address council, you can do so at this time. You'll step up to the podium. Seeing none, we'll go on to the next item on the agenda. It's unfinished business. We have the city manager's report. Mr. Shaker.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. The Bringing Up program wrapped up on May 3rd. It was prolonged because of the weather. The crews took in 100 loads of trash to the landfill, which equals 327.22 tons of material that was picked up. It's a great program. It not only gets rid of nuisance in the community, hazards about that. Sales and lodging taxes are down again for the month of April. Those taxes are actually collected in the month of March, but remitted in April. Sales tax was down 0.82%, or $4,991.
Next thing on the agenda is the communication.
Lodging taxes were down 27.21%, or $3,343.35. From a sales tax perspective for the year, we are ahead by 1.35%, or $30,000. So I think we're okay. The 6th Street water line replacement project should be wrapped up next week, which is actually this week. And as soon as the contract is done at the Broadway Shopping Center, we expect that the 6th Street will be paved. The anticipated advertisement date for the Division Street water line is being done before the S-curve is scheduled for May 10th. The manhole replacement project, and that's the 18 manholes on the real deep sewer line, is 25% complete. Wastewater collection crews are out cleaning the sewer lines. We have ordered the stone for the bronze statue bays that are on West Main Street. We have processed the purchase order for sod for Chairs Park. Parks, Library, and Recreation is working on the request for proposals for the master plan for the Riverbox property. And as soon as, just a reminder, the 3rd annual Tread the Trail, and the 2nd annual Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics is scheduled for May 20th, starting at 9:30. The Special Olympic Torch Run will start at Columbine, and then come downtown at West Main to Pioneer Park. The Tread the Trails will start at Pioneer Park. This coming Saturday, there's a fundraiser, a 5K fun walk and run for Sean Rewall. Incurs some expenses that are not covered by his health insurance while he receives treatment for his throat cancer. That event will be held at Pioneer Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll include hamburgers and hot dogs. It's donation for the event. And I also had a conversation with the RE1 Valley School District Board of Directors regarding the potential use of sales tax for their funding dilemma. There appears to be 6 cities that do collect a sales tax for school districts. I was upfront with them and told them, that's, for my own personal opinion, most cities and myself would not support a sales tax, since that's what cities rely on. 78% of our taxes are from sales tax, and the balance from that primarily is property taxes. So it's a major impact, but they're just looking at possibilities, even though the legislature, I think this week, just passed some legislation that'll provide some relief. And that's all I have this evening.
Thing on the agenda, under new business, we have the introduction of new city employees. And at this time, I'd like to call Fire Chief Ritter to step up.
Good evening. Tonight I have the privilege of introducing some of the new people that we just hired. We recently did a testing process and hired 3 new people, and also did some promotions and promoted 2. I've got most of those folks with me tonight.
I think this week just passed some legislation.
Introduce themselves and tell a little bit about themselves.
Hello, I'm Jason Bostrom. I was promoted to captain. I've been with Sterling Fire Department since 2001 as a volunteer, and career since 2005. Born and raised here, have a little girl, and hoping to have my whole career here. I guess I also am going to introduce 2 guys that aren't here. Troy Kaneshita was promoted to lieutenant. He's been with the fire department for 4 years. He's a paramedic, and we also hired Dylan Workman, who came to us from Haxton and went through our fire academy.
And I've been in the program for about 4 years now. Started out as volunteer and then part-time. I was not born here, but I lived here most of my life. Excited to work for Sterling Fire Department and continue on with my career.
My name is Connor Rodson. I come from Parker, Colorado. I've been a volunteer with Sterling since 2015, I believe, and I was hired on recently. That's what telling me being here today. I'm very excited to serve the people of Sterling, and look forward to aiding the community and spending the majority of my career here.
All 5 new people, the 2 that were promoted, and the 3 that we hired, all 5 came through the AJC Fire Science program. So there's all those that work with and train with us for some time now. Thank you.
Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is a presentation of Police Week proclamation. So this time, if I have Police Chief come up and meet in front, please. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, especially with you, Chief. Great to be here today. I salute this proclamation. Since whereas the week of May 14th to the 20th, 2017 is National Police Week, and whereas the safety and well-being of the city of Sterling is important to the prosperity of Colorado's families and communities, and whereas police officers throughout our community are dedicated to protecting and serving Sterling neighborhoods, schools, and families, and whereas police officers risk their lives each and every day in order for public safety and enforce the laws of the land, and whereas Sterling values the courage, devotion, community, state, and local police, as our collective prosperity depends on the integrity, which our law enforcement officers maintain peace and security. And whereas Police Week gives Sterling citizens an opportunity to honor the families of those who continue to protect and serve our communities. Now, therefore, I, Dan Flores, Jr., Mayor of the City of Sterling, by virtue of the authority vested in me, formally designate May 14th to the 20th, 2017 as Police Week. The City of Sterling publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in the community and in communities across the nation. In witness whereof I have hereto set my hand and caused to be affixed the official seal of the City of Sterling, dated this 9th day of May of 2017. So, Chief, congratulations. We have another proclamation. It's for the, I can have Ronald here. Thank you. Again, another proclamation, and again, this is the one before. I feel privileged and honored to be reading this. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers, and whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle, and whereas a nation of peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war, and whereas poppy has been designated as the symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars, and whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind Americans annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. Now therefore, I, Dan Torres, Jr., Mayor of the City of Sterling, Colorado, do hereby proclaim Saturday the 20th day of May, 2017, as American Legion Post 20 and American Legion Auxiliary Poppy Day, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those that made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. In witness whereof I have gone to set my hand and cause to be affixed to the City of Sterling, dated this 9th day of May of 2017. I'd like to- Next thing on the agenda is the appointment of Sterling Urban Renewal Authority board members. You have in your packet the two applicants, and I ask for a motion to appoint these board members to the Sterling Urban Renewal Association. The two are, I apologize, are Sonnenberg and Ray Bramer. Ask for a motion to appoint these two board members.
I'll make a motion to appoint Ray Bramer and Sam Swanberg.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember David Afflon, second by Councilmember Janice Rice, to appoint the two board members mentioned to the Sterling Urban Renewal Board. Is there any discussion? Council, please cast your vote.
All votes are cast.
If you wish to change your vote, please do so now. Please show the vote.
7 yes vote, motion passes.
Thank you. Speaking for the council board, I welcome both of you and look forward to continuing good things from you. Thank you. The next thing on the agenda is a excuse me, presentation from Local County Commissioner Joe McBride regarding the Sunset Memorial Garden Cemetery. Turn over the mic to Commissioner Joe McBride. I just want to mention to the people in the audience, this is not a work session. This is not the only three people we're going to have come up to the mic to make any comments It's going to be three commissioners going through proposal that Joe has given us. It's very possible that we're going to have a work session which will include the commissioners, the friends of the cemetery, and the city council. And at this time, when that day comes, I definitely welcome all of you who are here for that reason to show up there, and this will be a work session that will be strictly for that purpose, and that will allow time to have a voice. So again, for the sake of time, like I said, we're only going to allow the three commissioners to speak tonight. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Commissioner Joe Bryan.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me on the agenda tonight. I did bring a few extra copies of the plan that my lovely assistant has here, but there's only about 9, so I don't know if anybody wants to have one. I'm going to start off by explaining the purpose of my presentation. Over the last decade, Sunset Memorial Gardens has been a disappointing place of remembrance in our county. Many of us have loved ones buried there, grandparents, parents, and children. As a community, we have well over 100 veterans buried at Sunset. There have been several attempts to come up with a solution for this issue, and a lot of effort put forth by the Friends of Sunset Committee, Home Depot, citizens, and other businesses to maintain the cemetery. To date, we still have no long-term solution for this community problem. Many want to blame the current owner for the state of affairs at the cemetery, but it was before the current ownership that unfortunate events took place. Prior embezzlement and misuse of monies occurred decades ago. Due to statute of limitations and a deceased prior owner, we are unable to correct the mistakes of the past. At this point in time, I believe we need to come together as a community and show our compassion, respect, and pride by developing a solution for the future of Sunset. Tonight I will be highlighting a plan for the city, county, and Friends of Sunset in which we come together to create this solution. Just as with our current intergovernmental agreement, it's not just about basing our concerns on who pays more in the project. It is about dividing services by the government agency that can handle the task legally and efficiently. I believe the overall buy-in by both the city and county will show the public that we are willing and want to work together on problems that affect our citizens. The only request I have tonight is for an agreement with the City Council to attend a joint work session on May 30th. This is the 5th Tuesday of the month, and to my understanding, the Council does not have a meeting that night. This would be a great opportunity to review this plan, address concerns, modify the plan if needed, and walk away with a timeline and real progress. It has been made abundantly clear to me the frustrations of concerned citizens in this county, and I can sympathize that after 6+ years they want a solution. But I would just ask for a little more patience and time for both governments to find and implement a solution. I believe we are getting close to having a solution that has minimal costs, decreased liability concerns, and a future of well-maintained cemetery that we all can be proud of. Now, on the plan that I submitted, that you all have a copy of, I'll just run through the steps that I kind of came up with here initially. So the first part is each entity, the City of Sterling, Logan County, and Friends of Sunset, are crucial components in coming up with a long-term solution to the cemetery. Even with all three working together, we still need strong community support to proceed. Now, on the first step would be the City of Sterling and Logan County coming together in that joint session to answer questions like who will own the land, how will the intergovernmental agreement work initially, and so the first part is each entity, the City of Sterling, Logan County. Step 2 would be a public fundraising effort. The Friends of Sunset Group and other interested parties have expressed a strong desire for even with all three working together to assist. They have agreed to host a fundraiser and auction to kickstart this transition. The first step fundraiser City of Sterling conduct a ground radar survey to provide funding for 25% future grant match and to help beautify areas of the cemetery. So the first part is each entity. Next, we would conduct a ground penetration of public fundraising. There are approximately 20 acres combined at Sunset. If the approximate acreage needed to assist the 5 acres fundraiser and auction, it would cost approximately $2,130 for a GPS plotting study or $1,800 for the flag plotting funding for 25% future grant. One company estimated it would take 1 to 2 days for 5 acres of plotting. The next step would be removing liabilities. Removing the liabilities is the core of this whole issue. If the The ground penetration study would be a big step, and the other liability is torn down Onstead and Robbie because of plotting. The county would apply for a DOLA grant to assist in the cost of demolition due to the presence of asbestos. Efforts have already been made at acquiring a permit from the state for one-time asbestos reliability. And lastly, the issue of prepaid plots would be a topic of discussion at the transit step and the other liability. Finally, the last step would be the county and city roles. The county would apply due to the inability of the county to operate a cemetery, and the city of Sterling's main role would be to manage revenue due to the presence of asbestos. While a very small amount, approximately $60,000 perpetual funding might go to the city. Costs of future burials would most likely be plots with the cost of a cemetery. The county, through the intergovernmental agreement, would finally create a part of the cemetery. This would be designed as a nature invite to the inability of having around the exterior portions of the cemetery. We would accomplish this by applying for the Great Outdoors Colorado grant to assist in the construction of the Washington County beautification efforts and for future burials, for ongoing maintenance of the property. The ongoing maintenance would also include county operations government agreement. Now, I did leave, this would be designed as a nature of reasons that are to create a cemetery. And I did would accomplish this by questions on the Great Outdoors session. And if everyone was on board with the application efforts and for future burials, for ongoing maintenance of the property. The ongoing
Well,
maintenance
I'm just speaking for myself. This is something
now, I gave, this would be designed as a nature of reasons that are to
predecessors
create and I did would
that is, I've always said, we should work together. I think that we were first approached. Cemetery is very little in the city, very little. Sit down and say, what, we have never done this, so I personally, that is not a favor, sitting down and putting brainstorm, putting about his approach, and this time, I was there, seeing what they're doing, but also, you know, members of the community, mentioned, but it's just, for city council, the commissioners, the cemetery, it is the community. Everybody, sit down, so I'm in favor. I'll open up to any comments there, fellow council.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of work session. You know, we've gotten, there's been progress made in looking at it from a broad range of perspectives in the last 6 years. There's been things done legally. And so there has been progress made even though there's no resolution. But I do think that we need to continue to work on it in a positive fashion. I'd be in favor for another start would be to look at there's progress made in looking at it from a broad range of perspectives in the last 6 years.
well, that date, was actually brought up to me.
There has been progress made even though there's no resolution. But I do think that we
The location is pretty important as far as being in favor
for another start would be
7 o'clock.
progress made in
Well, I think we had it, late afternoon, early evening, better for most people than those
That date, was actually brought up to me.
The other thing, the only thing I want to say is on May 30th, that's the day after Memorial Day. For me, that, it isn't a problem. I mean, personally, actually, like I say, this is fine. The other thing, the only thing I want to say is on May 30th, that day after Memorial Day. For me, that, it isn't a problem. That's a holiday. That is, I think we've agreed, that the consensus of, just having work session, we have a big, setting the date. For me, that's,
There are many that I don't know where a joint session would
that is,
matters, but
I think
is there a venue you prefer?
we're. earliest we would like to meet, anybody like to, obviously, so, yeah. Would 6 work?
I'm hearing 7 back here.
Much 7, well, I mean, to me, if you can make it at 6, you can make it at 7, but if you can't, you have a time, what's the earliest? 6:30. Don't be halfway. Well, again, that is, it sounds like 6, it sounds like, first of all, we already.
I'm hearing 7 back here.
Hey, to me, if you can make it at 6, you can make it at 7, but if you can't, you have a time, what's the earliest? Don't be halfway.
Yeah, we can do 6:30. I don't know, how many public comments and everything we have, so I'm just anticipating it might be a little bit longer session.
Well, it's, nice thing about the work sessions, we only have one, you can make it 6, then you go to 7, but that's
Okay, so May 30th at
May
the
30th.
Heritage Center, St. James.
6:30 at there.
I don't know, how many public comments and everything we have, so I'm just anticipating it might be a little bit longer.
We will, together, take care of it.
Well, thank you, guys. I will. If there's any problem, I'll let you know. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, I want to commend both of you who are here for that reason, that
If there's any problem.
it's good to see the support. Commissioner, right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, I want to commend both of you that are here for that reason. Next thing on the agenda is good resolution number 5-1-17, it's 2017. At this time, I'll turn
April 11th, Julie George, before we go on,
here for that. Next thing on the agenda
the
is
city's interest in council's action for the resolutions.
resolution number 5-1-17.
Field program. This resolution approves the city to join the Live Well, Healthy Eating and Active Living, parentheses, HALE, cities and town campaign with the goal to increase access to healthy eating and active living. The campaign provides coaching and technical assistance to support this process. By adopting the resolution, the city will be eligible for technical assistance, services, and public relations department. This resolution approves the financial impact of healthy eating and active living.
Now ask for motion.
Cities and town campaign with the goal to increase access to healthy eating and active living. This resolution approves the financial
Moved by Councilman Price, second by now ask for motion. Resolution 5-17. Change the vote, Mr. Soto.
7 yes vote, motion passes.
Next thing on the agenda is resolution number 5-2-17, series 2017. Again, I will change the vote, Mr. Sagan.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution approves a memorandum of understanding with the state for plan to upgrade digital truck radio systems in the city's emergency communications center, which upgrades are scheduled to commence during the third quarter of the calendar year 2017, biannually thereafter, until the final software upgrade is completed in the calendar year 2015. This MOU requires the city as a planning agency to formally accept the software upgrades and to remain active, connected, and usable partner of the DTR system, which upgrades are scheduled 2 years and completion is at software upgrade. The DTR system, 800 megahertz radio, spire is polyphony spires used to communicate amongst themselves. This is
In addition to that, they plan on the residential on school, which is a truck that's coming in. So we have 3 grass trucks this year. The fire department does annual training on wildfires, basic wildfires, that's called SRPGs. It's everybody at the department goes through, gets that basic. So in addition to that, they have as well as the pack test, which is carrying a 45-pound pack, walking miles in 45 minutes. Passes that test annually, as well as our regular physical agility test. So we maintain our lifeguard certification. We also are a fire lights community. Fire department is that stuff. We streamline people to keep a defensible space around their house. It's not so much a deal in the city, but passes that in the county. That's our space around your house, moving stuff that's supposed to be away from your house. So the fire does come through. Defensible spaces around your house. It's not so much a deal in the city. Does anybody have any questions?
You the red card, surfer, you can get, how often? Every year.
We have the agility test that you do that test every year as well. So everybody has to pass both of those tests.
Just curious, how much did you say that backpack weighed?
We have the pack that we wear for the test, which weighs the pounds.
Just, what's the average typically time?
Average time, you
Just
have
curious,
some guys that walk really fast.
How much did you say that backpack
35.
weighed?
You know, the pack that we wear for the test was 45.
Just, what's the average typically?
Pretty much time. Yeah. We have some guys that walk really fast.
6'5".
We also have a government truck, probably 2 years ago now. We used it for flood, for us, last one we did. But we were able to obtain a 1,000-gallon tank that had pump. And we also have the state of Colorado that costs just for us. 2 years ago now, that tank, we're able to sell the rest of it. So we will grass fires, use for transportation,
And you said that was a 6 block?
the truck itself costs the city $500. By the time we put the steel lights and everything, we're gonna have that truck in there
You said that was a 6 related questions,
the
comments?
truck itself costs the city $500.
Again, I'd like to thank the minutes, prior to the county. Have to say no ways is out, ways, this is this. Again, I'd like to thank to a banquet. Just say it again in front of those of you who didn't know that. This time. Speaks
Just to have 2 of the commissioners still here, I'd like to compliment them for their emergency manager, Kyle Walton, who emergency operations center during both those events. It's an interesting process to see how fires are managed at that level, recognizing the incident command, which was underneath policymakers. But we're there to help find those resources so they can do their job. And Kyle did an exceptional job, and he's only been in the job, I want to say, for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But he's learned well. He's very enthusiastic, so you've got a good man there.
I'll pass it on.
And no pun intended, he got thrown into the fire. But he did. Okay, next thing on the agenda is miscellaneous business, and the member of the council has any comments concerning the business they'd like to address at this time?
Yeah, I'd like to mention one thought, and it's just a thought. You know, we need more housing in Sterling. On behalf of the city to sit on the Logan County Economic Development Corporation board, and we've had discussions about needing more housing. We have, you know, a builder here tonight on Hawkstone that's been building houses, and I know builders in town that like to be building houses. Always stay busy to sit on the Logan County Economic Development. I remember attending several 30 years ago. The Logan County Builders Association had dates, you know, builder here. But I don't know what all they did. Logan County Builders Association, they did meet, did talk about the building, and probably a few of them are still around as far as giving us like historic. But I remember attending, I sure like this 30 years discussion county builders with builders about money to build out it and develop Logan County builders. I let you know that years ago we were building more house down the building. Certainly probably a few of us still around the city or charge and just to the audience in general. I haven't thought about it. Build Dutch County with new dams and things like people are moving money to go out and buy. Anybody has any thoughts on that? We can do to get more buildings done. And of course, all it needs is a donation and a whole lot of money. I'm sure things will happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Any other? Seeing none, then next thing on the agenda is again, thank you very much, all of you for showing up. We'd like to see this kind of audience in every
You bet. Nice to have you here.
What are you saying? You don't want to? No, I'm saying. I know it's late, but I'll bring coffee. Me too. Drink up the bed.
Yeah. Look, it's too late sometimes, I'll switch it black.
I don't purposely try. I'm just saying I probably could drink some.
I know.
It's because I started drinking those red eyes, you know, which is like little shots of espresso and black coffee. Yeah, and then you just, you know, my tolerance is just so high.
Right. You do, right?
Yeah, I sometimes. No, me. Well, thank you again.
Thanks.